The market has played out. It's not really a surprise, but let's talk about the slowdown blues as well. We were talking about autos yesterday. Today, let's touch base on what's going on in the FMCG space. We have with us Mr. Prasun Basu, President South Asia Nielsen. Hi, good afternoon, and thank you so much for coming on board. Let's talk about the kind of degrowth the FMCG has seen in the first half. Not a degrowth really, but yes, below expectation numbers. 12% vis-a-vis the expectation figure of 13 to 14%. What are the key contributors to the slowdown according to you? What are you factoring in right now? How is the situation likely to pan out in H2?
So first of all, thank you. Good afternoon. And as you restated, it is not a degrowth. We are still talking about a growth horizon and a pretty strong growth horizon. I think let's be very clear about it. So yes, it is a 12% growth we are talking about. And just to put this in context, if I look at all the major economies or FMCG markets around the world, they're all growing anywhere in the range of 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and the highest is a 6 to 8%, pretty much in all the major economies. So when we are saying 12%, that is head and shoulders over any of the other mid to large size markets and their FMCG growths. So having said that, I think we are looking at a short-term slowdown. We had a very, very high growth Q3 18 of around 16%, and that's come down to 10%. So that's a big drop. And as on the progress on the path of that drop is where you see the 12% for this year, first half, Jan to June. There's a flip to the story, like I said. We are talking about 10% growth of FMCG for India in Q2 19, that's April to June 19, which is significantly lower than Q3 of last year, July to September. But if I compare same time last year, which is April, June, we're at 10.6% growth. So we're talking about a 10.6% growth in April, June 2018 and a 10% growth in Q2 19, which is April, June this year.
Right. When we just talk about the growth outlook, when we just talk about what's happening in the retail space, the retail demand is decent. I mean, it's not bad in the environment that we were in when we look at same-store sales growth of various companies. You think, will it come down with a lag, or probably retail is unadopted because, a 500 rupee shirt or a 1,000 rupee ticket size is not something where you've seen a massive slowdown in growth versus what you've seen in other things?
So there is a short-term slowdown happening in retail as well, overall retail as well as FMCG retail. So that slowdown is definitely happening. And like I said, that slowdown has been quite severe in the last 2 quarters. But also this is a time where, many factors have come in. The monsoons have been very erratic and much lower. Timing has been bad as well as quantity has been bad. That has had a, negative impact in real terms on the agri economy. And in terms of the rural markets per se, it has also created a confidence challenge on rural consumers. So everything put together, can have actually a cascading effect, because close to 40%, 36% of FMCG contribution comes from rural. That's not a small part of it, right? And we've had long protracted elections. We have had a period before elections when things always slow down. And we typically see that in election years, FMCG growth does take a little small hit. So it's not surprising that has happened, and the long elections and monsoons, all of those things put together. I'm not surprised to see a 6 months of slowdown phase, especially led by rural. We are being conservative on our forecast. So we are calling out maybe around 9 to 10% full year forecast for FMCG for India, which is Jan-December 2019. Around 9 to 10% is what we're calling.
The big trend in FMCG has been that premium products tend to grow more, or premiumization is something which was happening for the last 2-3 years. You think that will still be the key driver, uptrading or premiumization?
Yes and no. So if you're asking me the question in the context of this current quarter, which is the July-September quarter, or even October-December, we may not see a big uptrend on premiumization. What has happened in the last 4 to 5 months is a bit of a down trading has happened. So both down trading from more premium brands to lesser ones to cheaper price points have happened. Some branding to commodity reversal has happened. What we were seeing last year was an uptrading from commodity to branding. This year we are seeing the reverse, and I anticipate this trend to continue for the next 3-4 months. But if the question is going 6 months out into the future, will we see premium growth? My view is that yes, we will see premium growth. Premium growth is here to stay. Perhaps not in the next 3 to 6 months, but beyond that, absolutely. And when we are talking about premium, there are two types of premium growth we are seeing in India. One is the premium which is cut above the belly of the market, the median of the market, and then there is super premium, which is maybe double the market price. The big growth in India is happening on super premium. Premium is also growing, but the big growth is happening super premium, and I expect this growth to come back to us towards the end of 2019 and certainly in the 2020 year.
Right. Also, when you just look at the last 4-5 years, majority of the growth for any company, any category has come when new launches happened. Do you think once you start to see a growth pick up beyond this 8-9-6% number that most of the companies have reported, you think new launches would start once again, which will drive the growth?
In fact, very, very good question. We just did some analysis on new launches, and what we found is, again, if I look at the most recent quarter, April, June this year versus last year, new launches, which is new brands or new sub-brands into the market, has come down from 16,000 of those cases same quarter last year to 13.5 thousand cases this time. So that is a drop, around 5 to 7% drop in new launches activities that has happened. In a slowdown period, in a construction period, companies do cut back on innovation and on launches. It is one way for them to kind of make the P&L work. But from a lasting standpoint, that's not a good idea. In fact, there's enough work that shows globally and in India that in a slowdown period, when we actually still are able to find the pockets to invest in innovation and new launches, that gets us head and shoulders above everybody else when we come out of that slowdown period. Because the gap we create by getting into new launch and innovation activity in the slowdown when everybody else is slowing down actually gives us a larger competitive advantage, which then starts playing very favorably for us as we are getting into the hardening of the marketplace. So yes, it is down. I don't think it's a great idea that companies are cutting back on that. Wherever possible, they should go ahead with it. Maybe the nature of the ones they pick up should be debated. So ones which are incremental or small new launches, which add only small value to existing products, maybe those are the ones we shelve. But ones which can give a discernible advantage, I would urge the market and the companies to really find the wherewithal to do those new launches, because it will hold them in good state as the economy turns around.
All right, Mr. Basu, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us, what is happening in the FMCG space and how the demand is panning out.